Hey brothers and sisters, last khutbah we started talking about Ayat Kursi, and the last khutbah focused on the virtue of this ayah. This khutbah inshallah will start talking about the meanings, some of the meanings included in this ayah. It's the greatest ayah in the Quran. It starts with Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. It starts with the name of Allah, and as we all know, the name Allah has many names, but the greatest of all these names is the name of Allah, the word Allah. Some scholars say that Allah is al-ism al-azam, and that the name Allah, it indicates and includes all the other attributes and names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is why it comes first and then the other attributes come afterwards. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. The name of Allah comes first and then other names of Allah come after that. And the word Allah in Arabic is extracted from the meaning of ta'alluf. Ta'alluf is, some scholars will explain it as ta'abbud, meaning to worship. So the one who is worshipped, the meaning of Allah is the one who is worthy of being worshipped. But it has more than this to it. It is not only, ta'alluh is not exactly ta'abbud. The samara of ta'alluh is ta'abbud. The fruit of ta'alluh is ta'abbud. So what is ta'alluh? So to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is the result of a ta'alluh. The ta'alluh refers mainly to the meaning, to the feeling that you have inside towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The feeling that His servants and His slaves have towards Him. And that feeling is the dire need. All His slaves and all His servants are in dire need for Him. They are in dire need not only for His mercy and His provisions for them, but they are also in dire need to worship Him. This is a point that we have to remind ourselves with. We do not only need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to create us and keep us alive and keep us healthy and feed us and give us water and protect us. This is part of what we need Him for. But we also need to worship Him, because Allah has created us in such a way that there is hunger inside us to worship Him. There's a need inside us to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we do not fulfill this need, we suffer from psychological issues and psychological trauma and psychological deprivation. We suffer from deprivation in our souls. Allah says, Ya ayyuha an-nasu antumul fuqara'u ila Allahi wallahu huwa al-ghaniyyul hamid. O people, you are the ones who are in need for Allah, for ta'alluq towards this great Creator. You need to worship Him. It's not that He needs you to worship Him. You are the one who needs to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need to be worshipped. Because if we do not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are created in such a way that we have this need inside us, we will seek to fulfill this need in other ways. And these other ways are very harmful to us. If we do not worship the true God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will worship other gods. There's no way out of this. Either we worship Allah or we worship other gods. And this other God doesn't have to be an idol that we bow or make sujood for. It doesn't have to be that. We will worship our own desires. We will be under the control of our own needs and our own fears. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to put all our needs and fears in Him and fulfill this need that we have and this weakness that we have inside us by going back to Him. لا ملجأ من الله إلا إليه. There is no way away from Him except to go back to Him again. There is no way to escape. And there is no way to fulfill our needs and secure our weaknesses and our fears except through worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we feel secure. الذين آمنوا ولم يلبسوا إيمانهم بظلم أولئك لهم الأمن وهم مهتدون. Those who worship Allah and believe in Allah and do not associate partners with him, those are the ones who feel secure and feel guided. And the opposite, if we do not fulfill our need for worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we fulfill it by worshiping our own fears and our own needs and our own desires, or other people, or by worshiping other people and fearing them, or by worshiping and fearing and loving other powers that are on this earth, makhluqat, then we live a very miserable life. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. Whoever deviates away and neglects my remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then فإن له معيشة ضنكا. ضرب الله مثلا رجلا فيه شركاء متشاكسون ورجلا سلما لرجل هل يستويان مثلا. Allah said, imagine someone who is working for multiple bosses, not one boss but multiple, and these bosses are always arguing amongst each other, and he tells him go here, and the other one says no, don't go here, don't listen to this boss, listen to me, you have to go here. And if he doesn't listen to this one, he gets punished. He doesn't listen to this other guy, he gets punished. And he only has one time to do one thing, so he gets punished more than he gets rewarded. This is the state of someone who worships others but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made our relationship with Him. He has summarized our relationship with Him, towards Him, and His relationship towards us in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We need ta'alluq. How we relate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that we perform the ta'alluq. We feel our dire need for Him, and that we are very weak, and what we need to be secure, and we feel the love towards Him, and we fulfill this in applying all this and directing this to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bismillah. And on the opposite, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relates to us is that He provides us with rahmah, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. When we provide ta'alluq in a proper way and ta'abbud in a proper way, we receive the other part of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which is the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is why also Prophet ﷺ says, أحب الأسماء إلى الله عبد الله وعبد الرحمن. Abdullah wa Abdul Rahman. So he mentioned the word Allah, the name of Allah, and the name of Ar-Rahman, because the first name is how His servants and slaves relate to Him. They worship Him, and they fear Him, they love Him, they long to Him, and they put all their needs and desires towards Him, and they get back Ar-Rahman, that He provides us, He provides for them, He provides them with His mercy, His provision, He takes care of them. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله عز وجل لي ولكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين ونصلي ونسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين. اللهم صل على محمد النبي وأزواجه أمهات المؤمنين وذريته وآل بيته كما صليت على آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. So this is the meaning of at-ta'alluq. And this word, this meaning or this root, alif lam ha, is used in Arabic in this meaning. I'll just mention two examples. They say, for instance, they describe the water, they say ma'un mula is when water is thrown in a desert. What happens to this water? It just gets absorbed into the sand and gets lost and is not good for anything. It's not to be used for anything. It just gets lost and vanishes. This is the kind of feeling a human being would have if he does not perform ta'alluq. He would feel lost, not good for anything. And also they say, أَلِهَ الْفَصِيلُ أُمَّهُ, when the baby calf is separated from its mother, it has this kind of feeling of dire need and fear and insecurity. This is the feeling a human being will live in if he does not perform ta'alluq towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He feels separated from from this kind of connection, then he has no security, he has no tranquility. His fears his fears control him, his desires control him. ومن يشرك بالله فكأنما خر من السماء فتخطفه الطير أو تهوي به الريح في مكان سحيق. Whoever associates partners with Allah, remember the example I mentioned in the first khutbah. This is another example Allah gives. It is like someone who has fallen from a very large elevation, fallen from an airplane for instance. And as he is falling, imagine the fear that he is in. Imagine that lack of control that he is in. Can he control himself? He's just flipping and fearing what is going to hit him, right? And as he's falling, فَتَخْطَفُهُ الطَّيْرُ أَوْ تَهْوِي بِهِ الرِّيحُ فِي مَكَانٍ سَحِيقٍ. Even the birds, we're not afraid of birds, but imagine this person is falling, even the birds can attack him. Something so weak as the birds, they can attack him. Or he just falls down to the ground. And imagine the pain that he will suffer then, and the disaster that would fall upon him. So this is an example if we do not perform ta'alluq. And this is the first word in the Ayat Kursi, Allah. It reminds us of all these meanings. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyu al-qayyum. And then we'll try to talk a little bit about la ilaha illa huwa, kalimat al-tawheed. La ilaha illa huwa, there's no one worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the essence of the messages of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to humanity. That this is the first thing a human being has to establish in his heart, La ilaha illallah. First thing he has to establish. Before he prays, before he makes siyam, before he follows all the ahkam of sharia, he has to establish La ilaha illallah. There is no one worthy of worship but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one to be afraid of but Allah. No one to love the true love but Allah, and everything else should be loved. Secondary to that, no one to direct your needs and your fears towards except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the meaning of La ilaha illallah. No one to bow for, no one to submit for except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one to make dhabh for, no one to make tawaf for, according to this command but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the ibadah, no one to make dua for except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the meaning of La ilaha illallah. And of course, how do we apply all this? Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We apply it according to the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is the message that was given to every prophet. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِ أَنَّهُ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنَا فَاعْبُدُونَ. Every messenger that I have sent, I have given him this same message, La ilaha illa ana fa'budun. I am the only God there. I am the only one worthy of worship, so you have to worship only me. And as you see the word La ilaha illa huwa fiha nafi wa isbat. It first negates all gods. La ilaha. There is no other God. And then it says except Allah. So we have to establish the nafi first, and then the isbat comes very easy. We have to negate and reject every other entity that could be considered as a power or as a god, or that people consider as a god. We have to reject all this first. And when we reject all this, our hearts become clean and receptive to accepting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the only God. But if you have other gods in your heart before establishing that there is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only power and the only God does not come into your heart easily. Look at what Allah said about Bilqis. وَصَدَّهَا مَا كَانَتْ تَعْبُدُ مِنْ كُونِ دُونِ اللَّهِ إِنَّهَا كَانَتْ مِنْ قَوْمٍ كَافِرِينَ. Her kufr before that and her worshipping for other gods but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevented her from accepting the true one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the nafi is very important initially, and this is, you find this in the da'wah of the other anbiya, in the call of the other messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For instance, Ibrahim alayhi salam says, فَإِنَّهُمْ عَدُوٌ لِي إِلَّا رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. First he rejects all these gods. فَإِنَّهُمْ عَدُوٌ لِي. All these idols and all the stars and all the powers that you claim are controlling our lives, I reject them. فَإِنَّهُمْ عَدُوٌ لِي. They're all my enemies. And then he brings the Isbat. إِلَّا رَبَّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Except the only true one God, the only true power that controls everything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that one I accept. فإنه عدو لي إلا رب العالمين. Also Ibrahim said, إنني براء مما تعبدون إلا الذي فطرني فإنه سيهدين. I distance myself from every entity and every God that you worship إلا الذي فطرني فإنه سيهدين. Also immediately after Ayat Kursi, Allah says, فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله So you have to have kufr بالطاغوت. Taghut is every entity that is taken by people as a god, or that has certain powers that people think that it functions independently of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and people put their trust and fear in it. This is a taghut. So فَمَنْ يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ. You have to reject all these other powers and all these false gods, so that you establish the iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يَكْفُرْ بِالطَّاغُوتِ وَيُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ. لَا إِلَهَ then إِلَّا اللَّهِ. So this is the way we have to clean our hearts first of all these falsehoods and all the false gods that we have inside our heart, so that we accept the iman only in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Prophet ﷺ used to go in the streets and in the markets of the people in Mecca, saying to the people, Ya ayyuhan nas, qulu la ilaha illallah tuflihu. Or people accept and say la ilaha illallah so that you be saved. Also, he said to his uncle, Ya am, qul la ilaha illallah, as he was dying. Ya am, qul la ilaha illallah kalimatan ashfa'u laka biha inda Allah. He says, give me at least the word. He says, oh uncle, just say la ilaha illallah. Maybe if you just say the word, I may have an excuse to defend you, to make intercession for you, to act like someone to stand beside you in the day of judgment. Ashfa'u laka biha inda Allah. And he rejected. He still rejected, and he died as a kafir. Also, he used to walk in the street, and his uncle Abu Lahab would be behind him, as he said to the people, Ya ayyuhan nas, qulu la ilaha illallah. He would throw the dust on him and the earth on him, and he would say to the people that this man is calling you to reject your gods and the gods of your fathers and forefathers. Also, a very important hadith. Prophet ﷺ one time said to Mu'adh, Ya Mu'adh, أتدري ما حق الله على العباد؟ قال الله ورسوله أعلم. قال حق الله على العباد أن يعبدوه ولا يشركوا به شيئا. He says, oh Mu'adh, tell me, what is the obligation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put upon the people? And he said, Allah wa rasuluhu a'lam. He didn't answer him right away. He let him wait and think a little bit, and then he says to him, the right that Allah has upon the people and the obligation that Allah has put upon the people is that they worship no God but Him. يَعْبُدُوهُ وَلَا يُشْرِكُوا بِهِ شَيْئًا. And then he went to stay quiet for a little bit, and then he said, Ya Mu'adh, أَتَدْرِي مَا حَقُّ الْعِبَادِ عَلَى اللَّهِ. He says, oh Mu'adh, you know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised His servants and His slaves if they fulfill that? And what kind of obligation Allah has put upon Himself towards His slaves if they fulfill that? And then he stayed quiet for a little bit. After Mu'adh said, Allah wa Rasuluhu a'lam, Allah and His Messenger know best, he said to him, حق العباد على الله أن لا يعذب من لا يشرك به شيئا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put an obligation upon Himself that He will not punish anyone who does not associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a very important thing that we have to establish, that we provide security for ourselves in the hereafter if we establish kalimat al-tawheed. I would like just to mention one more hadith and end this khutbah. You know the hadith of the bitaqa, when a man comes in the day of judgment with sijillat, many files and many books of sins that he has committed during his life. And these sijillat, mad al-basar, he can't see their end. And they put them on the one side of the scale, and they are so heavy, and then he has no good deed, he has not done anything, actual good deed during his life. And then Allah says, were you treated unfairly? Are we unjust to you? And he says, no, I admit I've done all this. Is there anything good that you have done during your life? He says, no, I really cannot remember anything good I've done during my life. So he says, but اليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا. He says, today no one is treated unjustly. There is one good deed that you have done during your life. And he says, what is this? He says, فَتُخْرَجُ لَهُ بِطَاقَةً. He says, a small bitaqa, like a card. It's like a card. And then he says, وَمَا تُغْنِي هَذِهِ الْبِطَاقَةَ أَمَامَ هَذِهِ السِّجِلَّاتِ. The man says, what will this small card do in front of all these big files of sins that I have on the other side of the scale? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders that this bitaqa, this card, be placed on this other side of the scale, فَتَطِيشُ السِّجِلَّاتِ. And it was so heavy that all these heavy files of sins are actually not only they are overweight, but they actually fly off the scale. They are thrown off the scale, and this bitaqa was his firm tawheed. It says this is the bitaqa of your firm iman that there is no God but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is shahadat an la ilaha illallah